Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man George Page coming to you live on YouTube. And I just got the good word that former police officer Amber Guyger was found guilty of the murder of Botham Jean. As you know, it's been about almost, I think, a year or so ago, where Amber Guyger, the police officer for Dallas, Texas, she was coming home from work and she came inside of her apartment of Botham Jean, who was shot immediately when she came in. And assuming it was her apartment, she shot him thinking he was a burglar. But the fact was that that wasn't her apartment. And it's always been suspicious how she can be able to come in an apartment where, the keys where it's set up. Because, if you know anything about how modern apartments work now, you don't have like a regular key, like, just, put a key in the thing, turn it, see, you have a card. And you slip that card into a reader. And it reads that, hey, this is your apartment, you can come in. But somehow, some way, this woman was able to get into this man's apartment, assuming that she was in hers, assuming he was a burglar, and shot him without a warning or just cause. She shot this man in his own home. And it's just one of those things that it's hard for us black people. Like, we can't live, we can't work, we can't walk. I mean, it's just some piece of shit. But, she's been found guilty of his murder, and justice was sought. Justice prevailed, and I felt like, if she wasn't found guilty, there's gonna be a riot in Dallas, about as big and probably just as bad as the Rodney King riots of almost 30 years ago. But I'm glad for the John family. They have justice for their loved one. And I'm hoping that this is something that will really, the system needs to be changed, because the fact is that police officers are given too much leeway because you wear a badge. No, it doesn't, that doesn't give you the right to murder somebody. We have like situations like Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland and Freddie Gray and Eric Garner. The guy who choked him to death. He got let go as a cop but still 5 years to work and get paid as a cop. But they're not going to put him on trial for the murder of Eric Garner. He's going to walk away. Or Philando Castile, who was shot in his car when he told a police officer, "I have a gun, I'm registered." But that cop's still walking around, and and I don't see why the jury. I'm like this. That jury in that trial, somebody know who they are, and they can't live in their neighborhood, especially if any of them black. You can't live in your black neighborhood anymore. You can't. But, the jury in this trial, they did right. They saw the evidence, and this is the great debate. Here's the story. What if Botham Jean was a black cop and Amber was a white girl living in the house? Now, there was a situation a while back in Minnesota, kind of the same thing, where a woman, she called a police officer. She was killed by a black cop. He was an African cop, technically, from Africa. I think he was Kenyan, or was he Kenyan, or what was it? I'm trying to think. Those are the ones who were pretty good in running, long distance. The Kenyans or Ethiopian. He was Ethiopian, I think. One of them. And, he shot her because, she said that she believed there was a woman being assaulted near her home. She comes up to the car. She knocks on the car, and the cop shoots her. Now, his partner has his gun out, but he didn't shoot her right away. But, that cop was found guilty of that. And I think he served some time for that murder. But his thing is, it was an Ethiopian cop who killed an Australian white woman. So, but while this situation where a black man is killed by a Hispanic cop, that's in Philando Castile case, he gets to walk away with his life and his freedom and whatever else, and he can't be a cop ever again because he knows, he's going to have a bounty on his head. But Amber Guyger, she got justice. Now the thing is you have to wait on the sentencing phase where they say what time she's going to do, how long she's going to do in prison. At the most, I feel they'll probably get her, I would say, I would not to give her life. Probably 5 to 15 or 5 to 10, something like that. And maybe get a possibility of parole. She might serve 4 or 5 of those years she's out on parole. because they're always gonna give cops that benefit of the doubt. But the thing is, she can no longer work in the as a police officer or any kind of job involving the criminal system, because she become a criminal. And and as a black man living in America, we're not treated as citizens. We're not treated as citizens. And the thing is, this is a big concern with a lot of people, because where the system's going now, where you have white supremacists and racists who feel like now they have the freedom to show their real selves now that we no longer have a black man as president, because they have a president that will support their ideology. It's just how it's going now, and that's what as right now, the Donald Junk, what I'm gonna call him, he's in trouble. And there's a good chance he may not be president. He might get impeached, but I think he'll probably get off. But the problem is now that he's no useful to the people in power now. But the thing is, this is a great thing for justice. It gives that feeling that that how can I really explain it to you? If, like I said, if you're not black, you won't really understand how racists and prisoners have held back my people for years. We weren't able to really get the fairness that we should, like any U.S. citizen. There are people who have not been here as long as we have. Who have not even come back. We were here even after Mayflower came. But I think it's a great thing for the family of Botham Jean. I think they might do a civil suit, which they deserve to do, and I think against the city. And also there should be more programs with which you could sue the cops for liability. Because the fact is, this thing is, when they sue the police officers, it's the city and the state that has to pay, not that officer. If they, if you put somewhere against somebody's pockets, they will be a little bit more careful what they do and how they do it. But to Botham Jean, brother, rest in peace. You got justice to his family. You got justice. You got justice to Amber Guyger. Bitch, you going to hell. And I hope they'll put you in. They probably put her in segregation because keep away from the regular convicts, instead of general population. But if they put her ass in general population, her ass gonna get like that old song with Ice Cube. They'll stuff her with a broomstick with no Vaseline. So, it's a man George Page. Like, subscribe. Don't subscribe. I'm out. And God bless you, Botham Jean.